I don't know. We're gonna have 2-hour reacts when the episodes come out, but the goal is to not pause the actual anime episodes, the Donghua episodes, and then the after, who knows? You know, the reaction is gonna be within those 30 minutes. Oh, I know. He put halfway in his title, right? Damn, man, he beat me to it, man. I should have streamed earlier before the trailer react. So okay, we're not copying Wiz's title because we're also gonna get halfway, and then tomorrow we pass him, and we take the lead again. So if you guys are watching right now and you guys haven't watched our anime react, we somehow reacted for an hour and 20 minutes. Not a minute and 2 minutes. Don't get wrong. There was 2 extra zeros at the end of that react. But yes, we hit an hour and 20 minutes. So if you guys are excited for the Donghua reacts, you know where to come through. All right, but for now, chapter 688, volume 3, Traveler, Lord of Mysteries, 4+ hour reacts, 30-minute each sub. That could work. That could work, Walter. All right, but for now, volume 3, Traveler, 688, Fruitless. Wait, I do apologize ahead of time. I know I'm overlapping with Wiz. I know you guys I know he was live right now, but I'm like, oh wait, hold up, I gotta go live too. It's like I can't let him outpace me. He's like, we gotta get the lead again, dude. All right. Oh wait, I lied. Hold up. Timestamp. Almost forgot. Chapter 688 is called Fruitless Wait. After hitting the deck, entering the cabin, and coming to his room, Klein was just about to say something when Anderson Hood spoke as he could. You'll never guess Klein's sequence. Ecclesiastic? I got it, bro. Nosferatu, what do you mean? Ecclesiastic. I said it now. Spoke before he could. That's not right. If that was a pretty funny joke. I'll give you that one. Oh man, my brain would shut down if that happened. If I were the passengers on board the ship, I'd definitely be very afraid and nervous to see an adventurer who just offended the king of immortality. I'd either get the captain on first mate to convince you to switch to another ship, or I would switch ships myself. To my surprise, all of them are especially calm. This guy is very sharp. He's able to notice the minute details. Is this a real conspirer, often acting happy-go-lucky, shooting off his mouth and being optimistic, but in actuality has silently grasped the situation and made his preparations. As Klein opened the door with his key, he began considering if the ship had any real problems. At that moment, Anderson raised his hand to slap himself in the cheeks before laughing dryly. 0 legs. Let me fix that. Thank you, dude. I get it. It happened just recently. The matter. I know we scheduled it like 20 minutes ago, so I know that not that many people got the notifications. Yeah, I know. So it was kind of like a last-minute stream. It happened just recently. The matter's only spread among a number of adventurers and pirates. Typical tourists and sailors wouldn't even know of this. Thank you. Completed digested reader? Hopefully, knock on wood. The matter's only spread among a number of adventurers and pirates. Typical tourists and sailors wouldn't even know of this. Besides, people who know what you look like are definitely people who got intel, not ordinary people. Wow, he knows to answer his own questions. Oh wait, the volume is way too low. Let me raise it. He knows the answer to his own questions. Do you know that time is life? Klein lampooned and entered the first-class cabin. It wasn't that he wished to enjoy comfort, but that he needed to watch over Anderson Hood. He didn't want this unluckiest hunter to bring disaster to the liner, so he knock on wood. So hopefully that doesn't happen. So he had gotten him to book a first-class cabin for themselves. With a suitcase in hand, he walked straight to the master bedroom. Klein pointed at the guest room and the servant's room, and he said to Anderson, choose one for yourself. Anderson was taken aback as he turned to gape. You're very used to this. Of course, I have reached experience in interacting with hunters. If Denitz were here, I would designate him to servant's room. Klein didn't answer as he entered the master bedroom. 1:30, the steam engine whistled as the liner set off on time. After hanging his coat, Klein walked out of the master bedroom in pants, his shirt, and the vest. He looked out the window to the horizon. Thanks to the wind, the green waves embedded as they spread along the outline of the Toscarder Island inch by inch. That's no way to see the full situation. Anderson came over and smiled. You can only ensure that there are no problems from one of the flanks, and Deaf Announcer might appear from the other flank or the front. The best option is to climb up to the crow's nest, huh? There's definitely a crew member there, and an experienced hunter or pirate has 100 means to fool his sentence. I'm gonna go call someone. No, you guys are good. No, it's okay. No, I felt bad overlapping. No, it's all good, dude. Klein turned around and looked at Anderson with a stoic expression. Well said, I'll leave this to you. Anderson was taken aback. He snapped to his senses and asked in surprise, you don't have any other means to observe. Without any other means to observe, how Was he to lay a trap for the kings of immortality? No, Klein nodded his head with abnormal frankness. I can only rely on you. Who gave you the courage to leave under the king of immortality's scrutiny? Anderson was momentarily speechless. As he muttered to himself, "Don't stop me, I'm jumping ship." He left the cabin room and headed for the bottom of the crow's nest. In theory, King of Immortality Agalito or the Deaf Announcer should have long sensed my ill intent and sensed the danger that stems from me. Then will they attack? Will they believe that I'm at the level I show myself as if I don't have any help? Or will they suspect that some powerhouses who have interference in their premonition for danger did something? Klein retracted his gaze from the door and looked once again at the sea outside. After a while, he suddenly sensed something as he quickly activated his spirit vision and turned his head to look at the side. The tall skeletal messenger burrowed out of the ground, the black flames in its eye sockets jumped slightly. It's cool how you can see like the black flames, dude, in the Dunkfight trailer. It's cool. Like when he goes up, you can see the flames. It only revealed its upper body, so it wasn't too much taller than Klein. It looked at him at the eye level and handed the letter in his hand. Mr. Zick replied pretty quickly this time. Klein politely nodded and received the neatly folded piece of paper. After the skeleton messenger collapsed and disappeared, he unfolded the letter against the sunlight coming in from the window. I'm very happy to hear about your advancement. Your travels have been more interesting than I had imagined. Those waters are indeed very dangerous. I vaguely remember that it might have to do with the source of the cataclysm. As for what, there's a remnant aura of ancient death there. I'm not too sure. I will keep your warnings in mind. Before completely recovering my memories, I will not enter those waters. The true creator's ravings aren't pleasant to the ears. Yeah, that's true. I'm somewhat interested in the Ringworm by Admiral Hell. However, I'm recently been embroiled in some past matters. I might need some time before I pay him a visit. Upon seeing this, Klein couldn't help but smile. After replying to Mr. Isaac, I'll tell him that I have the means to lock onto Admiral Hell's loot will's location. I must get him to bring me along with him when he pays a visit. Oh no, I didn't divine the location of the Murloc cufflink recently. I'm not sure if Ludwell had discovered it or thrown it away. Yes, I'll divine it above the gray fog after I confirm the deaf announcer isn't pursuing me. Moving his gaze away, Klein continued reading. The ancient chronicles I received from Katerina does mention matters regarding artificial death. To put it simply, the former royal family of the Balam Empire, present upper echelons of the numinous episcopate, has gained inspection from the hidden sage sudden coming to life. The hidden sage sudden coming to life and turning anthropomorphic. They wish to let death, which is present only in a constant, to experience something similar. There's a possibility of it being fulfilled due to the indescribability of bionic characteristics. The perish of death doesn't mean that the corresponding bionic characteristics and authority has been completely lost. According to the chronicles, the corresponding research hasn't reached a breakthrough, but that was from centuries ago. The sequence 4 corresponding to Sierra... Oh, wait. We know that, is Bizarro Sorcerer. The powerhouse from the Antigonus and Zarotol family left me with a deep impression. Even though I've already forgotten details, my recollection are still able to bring me some feelings of fear. As for where to get the formula and ingredients, I'm not sure. Perhaps you can consider switching to neighboring pathways. I've already recalled matters regarding this. You can choose Sequence 4, Secret Sorcerer of the Apprentice pathway. Shit, dude. You can choose... We have so many options now. You can choose Sequence 4 Secrets Sorcerer of the Apprentice pathway or Sequence 4 Parasite of the Marauder pathway. It'd be... I can't see him going Parasite. Like, the fact that Amon is a Parasite, I don't think he would, like, copy him. We'll find out, but I don't see that happening. Sequence 4 Parasite of the Marauder pathway. However, I vaguely remember that these three pathways only allow switching at Sequence 3. Indeed, there's only a roads left. Klein forcefully produced a grin. After reading the reply, he took out a pen and paper and wrote parts down of the content he had already thought of, as well as asking the exact definition of a mythical creature. After putting down the pen and paper, he wasn't in a hurry to summon a messenger. He planned to wait for Deaf Announcer to appear before adding the request for help into the letter and then mailing it out. This way, he could hold out for some time with a Sea God Scepter, and he might even have Mr. Zick tear through the Spirit World to rescue him. When the time comes, the two of them would join forces and have a chance to claim Deaf Announcer as theirs. As for why he didn't write it ahead of time, it was because a devil might not come again due to the premonition from danger. True. Of course, Klein had no idea whether they could sense the exact contents of his current ill intent. After patiently waiting for a few hours, Klein heard the door open. When he looked back, he saw Anderson struck in the side of his face. He walked in the mixed emotions. The Deaf Announcer hasn't appeared. We've completely left the waters around Toskarcher Island. The King of Immortality actually didn't seek revenge. This fellow's more impressive than I imagined. Anderson sighed inwardly. Klein gave a regretful nod, walked to his coat rack, coat rat, isn't it coat rack? And took his coat and hat in preparation to head for the dining hall. In his secret chamber, a small red gloves team was discussing a case. Wait, hold it. We changed POVs. He was discussing a case they were on. Sol Azure Soist held a chalk and pointed at the blackboard. The devil murder case this time has similarities with the assassination of Duke Negan in Backland. Ooh, trying to piece it together. First, a human skin with its own smell and aura appeared. This is something that hasn't appeared in many of the devil-related cases in the past. Second, there's more than one devil. They take turns wearing the human skin in order to carry out their normal activities to conceal their partner's evil acts, which was pretty cool because that one still went away. The other one that took the ferry and left, right? Finally, they're suspected of belonging to the Beria family. At that moment, Leonard, who appeared to be listening attentively in the corner, couldn't help but recall something when his captain mentioned Backland. Having witnessed the complete destruction of the underground ruin, he wanted to find time for himself to investigate the mysterious detective Sherlock Moriarty. Oh, shit. He had planned on starting from Sherlock Moriarty's former landlord, but his team took on an emergency case and began to investigate a new series of serial murders. He had no choice but to leave Backland. Leonard, what's your take on this? After Soist finished his briefing, he named Leonard Mitchell to continue. Leonard turned his head to the side of the dais and looked at the content of the blackboard. He quickly organized his words and said, I believe that it's not only a form of concealment, but it's also a requirement of a particular ritual. Captain Soist, as you know, devils have many kinds of blasphemous and evil rituals. Reasonable deduction, Soist then gestured for another team member to speak his piece. Phew, thankfully, old man has recently been catching me on devil studies. Leonard heaved a sigh of relief and began attentively listening to the discussion of his team. After a 2-day voyage, the liner safely arrived at Ararvi Island. After checking into a hotel, Klein said to Anderson Hood, wait here for me. The demigod doesn't like strangers suddenly visiting. He didn't wish to expose the contact person of the life school of thought. I hope I'll live to see him. Anderson smiled bitterly as he wished to good luck. I'm getting salted by... Oh, it is that kind of season, right? Yeah, it is mosquito season. I hope I'll live to see him. It's always like that when it gets hot, right? I'll hope to see him. Anderson smiled bitterly as he wished himself good luck. The corners of Klein's mouth twitched and he gave up saying anything further. He rode on the carriage and went straight for the Church of Storms, St. Draco Cathedral. Before long, he arrived once again in a small room in the magnificent bell tower where he saw the tall, extremely asymmetrical and ugly bellman Carnot. After hearing Gurman Sprout's intentions, the hunched Carnot nodded. I'll bring you to Mr. Ricciardo. He had already covered, and it is no longer where he originally was. All right, just as Klein gave a response, he suddenly recalled the Carnot was a product of the Church of Earth's Mother's human body refining. He then asked a question. Do you know Frank Lee? Do I? We're homies, bro. What are you talking about? So I read page 1 out of 7 without hitting play. So this is the first time ever where I'm going to read something. But luckily, nothing too crazy happened, so this is not a fake react. Bellman Carnot's expression immediately turned odd when he heard Frank Lee's name, and I'll tell you exactly where I stopped reading. Yes, he is a kind of pure person, but at times his pureness is terrifying. Indeed, Klein made way and allowed the bellman to walk down the stairs. As he followed him down, he asked, are you familiar with him? Carnot silently walked ahead, and after a while, he said with his back facing Gurman Sparrow, I'm a failed product filled with all kinds of problems. I was always mocked, and only Frank was one of the few who looked at me normally, treating me as someone with a real soul. Why did he leave the Church of Earth of Mother? Klein asked, despite knowing the answer. Carnot came out of the bell tower, answering while getting his bearings. I don't know about the specifics. He's an orphan. He grew up in a cloister from a young age. He really treats the church as a family and views Earth Mother as his mother. He has many strange ideas. He has the opportunity of becoming a diocese bishop, but he was later nearly sent to the tribunal for being sacrilegious. I'll double check. Let me see. He's an orphan. He grew up in the cloister from a young age. He really treats the church as a family and views Earth Mother as his mother. He may have strange ideas. He has an opportunity of becoming a diocese bishop, but he was later nearly sent to the tribunal for being sacrilegious. Frank mentioned this before. He walked, trying to crossbreed a bull, a cow, and wheat together. To be frank, if it were me, I would have sent him to the tribunal as well. This guy was fined early on because of his low sequence, limiting what he can do. Klein mumbled, following Carnot down another street and arrived in an alley behind St. Draco Cathedral. Carnot walked in front of an ordinary building, pulled the doorbell thrice opened. I'm reading wrong now. Each tug lasting 2 seconds. After a while, thudding sounds approached as the door creaked open. Klein immediately saw an elderly in a black short coat with a hand crane. His hair was white as snow, but he didn't have any obvious wrinkles. He wore a black eye mask around his eyes. Mr. Counselor, Mr. Gurman Sparrow is here to pay you a visit. Counselor Ricciardo. He's Counselor Ricciardo. He's blind. Previously, Klein had only heard his voice without meeting him. It's no wonder he was surprised. Ricciardo turned his ears to the side and slowly turned his head towards Gurman Sparrow and chuckled. Sorry, I can only meet you this way. When I woke up in the morning, I suddenly had a premonition that I must have opened my eyes to see anything today. To prevent any accidents, I wore an eye mask. You can actually do that. He's in no way inferior. He is in no way inferior as a charlatan. Klein was momentarily amused and surprised. Following that, he understood the correct interpretation of his premonition. He didn't want to see him. He remembered that the Beyond from the Monster Pathway was able to see things others couldn't see. Therefore, Snake of Mercury Will also Ting was able to sense my uniqueness. And back in Tingan City, Adamisio's eyes bled as he collapsed to the ground simply by seeing me. And that's where we stopped reading this chapter. So now this is new. It was weird though. I'm not gonna lie, rereading that. It was like a time loop. Any theories? Not yet, man. But I do find it cool though that this dude, like, he sensed Klein. It was like, hold up, I need to like cover my eyes. Now what I want to know is what the fuck is his uniqueness, and like what, like, why are they like why does their premonition like literally trigger them, like why does it like do not look at Klein? Now that's what I want to know. Like, I want to know like what's this whole uniqueness, and like why is it like that scary or traumatizing, especially towards Adamisio. Adamisio really put a big strain on the Monster Pathway. Yeah, it's like, I want to know, man. Like, it's like, I don't know if there, it has to be for something, it has to be something dangerous that's like keeping Klein, or like his uniqueness has to be something like unironically dangerous, and that's why like he was like, oh, I can't look at him today, you know, because it's a bad premonition. Like, maybe he has such a high sequence like parasite, and like he can't even detect it, or like no one can detect it, or like maybe that's it. Probably not. But Counselor Ricciardo sensed the danger and wore an eye mask ahead of time. So if not for that, I was planning on asking what he can see. Klein didn't have any penchant about forcing others to harm themselves. He held back. Wait. Don't look directly at God. Adamiso's eyes bled as he's shouting death. He had a premonition to not look. His uniqueness not only has something to do with the gray fog, but like probably something to do with like the original creator, and we just don't know it. Counselor Ricciardo sensed the danger and wore an eye mask ahead of time. Sigh, if not for that, I was planning on asking what he can see. Klein didn't have any penchant about forcing others to harm themselves. He held back his thoughts and asked, do you have any clues to the mystical items I need? Not for now, Ricciardo said with a smile. After I recovered from my injuries, I went to BAM. I was lucky that there were some adjustments to the upper echelons of the Navy Governor General office, so I successfully rescued Roy King, but it wasted quite a bit of my time. Klein had expected this, and he said without any sense of surprise, then I'll use the request to get another form of help. I have a friend who is plagued with bad luck after interacting with a mural left behind by the Angel of Fate. He needs it completely removed. Ricciardo thought for a moment before saying, no problem, bring me over to him. Don't allow him to leave the residence or there might be accidents. There might be accidents. I thought it would only affect him. It might be the Abyss. Unironically, you know, hold up. Maybe the Abyss corrupts. You never know, dude. Maybe in some way, shape, or form, it's true. From Klein's point of view, the life school of thought and a rose school. I skipped the line. Klein nodded and walked towards the alley with a suitcase in his hand. He took the opportunity to ask, Mr. Counselor, what do you know about the Mother Tree of Desire? From Klein's point of view, the life school of thought and the rose school of thought were at odds with each other, so it was likely that they knew each other very well. Okay, yeah, like know your enemy, right? With cane in hand, Ricciardo slowly walked behind him to his right. He didn't need anyone to help him. It was as though he wasn't wearing an eye mask. He chuckled. The Mother Tree of Desire is a rose school of thought's manifestation. The Mother Tree of Desire is the Royal School of Thought's manifestation of the Chained God. And that's why it's stronger, apparently, than 7 Orthodox gods. Like, just a Royal School of Thought's manifestation in of itself is that strong? Of the Chained God. However, I suspected the truth is actually the reverse. Wait. The Chained God is one of the Mother of Tree of Desire's many manifestations. Oh, that actually makes more sense. Like, she's like the mother tree, and from the mother they all come from. My reasoning is that Red Light Moria claims that the mutant pathway sequence 0 is still unoccupied. What? Oh, yeah, wait, we know that. Wait, no, what the fuck? Oh, I thought I read Monster Knows Mutant. Claims that the mutant pathway sequence 0 is still unoccupied. Hey, you know about sequence 0, right? You should put on some Morrowind ambience music, dude. I fucking love it, dude. I would play it. Hold up. The Mother Tree of Desires, a rose colored thoughts manifest. Wait. This so the mutant pathway sequence 0 is still unoccupied. Hey, you know about sequence 0, right? Of course. Yes, Klein succinctly answered. He didn't even express his knowledge of the Great Wide Brotherhood. Ricciardo teachingly acknowledged. In short, no one knows the true identity of the Mother Tree of Desire, nor. Wait. In short, no one knows the true identity of the Mother Tree of Desire, nor does anyone know what her pathway is. Perhaps that's her true identity. In addition, I can provide some indirect information. The Mother Tree of Desire and the primordial moon are at odds. There seems to be some irreconcilable conflict. I'm reading that wrong. Between them. Yo, what's up, guys? Praise of. It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day. Conflict between them, and it's because of this that the Rose School of Thought views us as an enemy. However, at times the Mother Tree of Desire and the Primordial Moon seem to have a subtle relationship. You might find it hard to imagine the Southern Continent Shaman King who worships the moon join the Rose School of Thought. Whoa, what the fuck? If they're at odds, like, why would the Shaman King join? The seven churches hate the true creator The seven churches hate the true creator, primordial demoness, dark side of the universe, and all the other evil gods. But their hatred for the primordial moon and the Mother Tree of Desires runs even deeper. Similarly, the Aurora Order, Demoness Sect, Blood Sanctified Sect, and Moses Ascetic Order do not like the Rose School of Thought. It's crazy how, like, intricate or you cooked. You better start your notes. I know, man. It's gonna be bad. I know I'm gonna be cooked, bro. It's gonna be hard. I don't know, man. I need to do like the best I can when I'm not streaming and just start updating, man. I know. I need to start rapid firing these volume 3 notes. Before long, the carriage arrived at the destination. Just as Klein was about to get off, he suddenly heard a loud bang. A rumbling explosion shook the entire street as glass fragments from the window fell to the ground. No way could it be caused by Anderson's. It's Anderson's bad luck. No way could it be caused by Anderson's bad luck. Klein's spiritual intuition told him that it was the case, but the unluckiest hunter had apparently lived. He turned his head to look at the carriage and saw that the huge chunk of the wall had collapsed from the hotel's second floor. Flames and smoke remained. At this moment, a figure with disheveled blonde hair and messy clothes stood below as he muttered, "To think that there's such a daring person to trade arms in a hotel. New kinds of explosives, especially. He nearly caused me to die without even knowing why. My suitcase." Klein looked down at the suitcase he was carrying and suddenly felt how great it was to be cautious. He turned around and helped Ricciardo down the carriage. Anderson sensed that something as he turned his head and to say with a bitter smile, "The arms dealer these days are too unprofessional. Thankfully, it's daytime and there aren't that many people in the hotel." Dude, I feel like there would be more. Actually, no, everybody would have gone out. "The owner sure is pitiful, having to suffer a certain loss. However, the gold they carry shouldn't be destroyed that easily. It should make up for his losses. I think your bad luck is responsible for large parts of the accountability." Klein nodded and said to Ricciardo, "It's him." Ricciardo then turned his head to Anderson, but his gaze was completely blocked by the black eye mask. He paused for a few seconds before smiling. "Give me a gold coin." Oh, Anderson took out the lone gold coin from inside of his clothes, feeling suspect. Then he smelled like German spur, traditional from my hometown. We see a tiny pocket on the inside of the clothes to keep a few coins. I originally didn't believe in it, but I've been just too unlucky recently. As he spoke, he handed the gold coin to Ricciardo. Ricciardo received the gold coin, slowly closed his fingers before retracting his hand. He then laughed and said, "All right, your bad luck has been dispelled." Ah, Anderson stood there in shock as he looked at Germansborough as though saying, "That's it. Did you get a fraud?" Klein was surprised as well, but he chose to believe Ricciardo. After all, he was a faked counselor. Ricciardo put away the gold coin and chuckled. "The bad luck you received this time wasn't child's play. If you don't believe me, you can head over to the casino to try your luck." Makes sense. Anderson clapped and immediately got directions for the nearest casino from a nearby passerby. After a while, he returned in the clean and scent jacket. He looked at Ricciardo and instinctively opened his mouth. He was suddenly taken aback as he forcefully closed his mouth and thanked him with a grin. After the demigod was sent on the carriage, he leaned in towards German Sparrow and wistfully said, "I was planning on saying that although you're blind, you really are amazing when it comes to the domain of fate. Thankfully, I recalled in time that he's a demigod. If you had really said that, you might have had the chance of becoming a hunter who died immediately after having his bad luck removed." What a twist of events. He posted a little fit on Monster Pathway for the Dunqua. I assume showing all the different pathways. Just a short clip, not enough. Oh, really? That's pretty cool, though. They did that? If you guys link it on general, I'll check it out. Yeah, for sure. Klein didn't echo his sentiments, and he said, "Now you can tell me the clues to the revolver." As creeping hunger had great limitations, he still wished for a more conventional, offensive, mystical item. Anderson combed his hair and chuckled. "It's in Bayam. It's from a friend that used to know, a very powerful adventurer. And he got sick of an unstable and dangerous life, and he used the savings to buy few spice gardens and found a lady to marry. He then completely left his line of work and he recently had a child, and his thoughts changed again. He began to wish that his child would be brought up in a better and safer environment with better educational prospects." What a good man. So he plans on moving to Backland. Ooh, we're going back to Backland after. There are the best grammar schools and public schools there. And he doesn't wish to rent a place in Backland, but he doesn't plan on selling his gardens that constantly earn him money. He happens to have an excess when it comes to mystical items, so he plans on selling that revolver. Back then, I was in rush to follow the treasure hunting expedition into those waters, so I'm not sure if he succeeded in the end. However, few people can buy something worthy nearly 10,000 pounds at once, so the transaction would close that easily. "All right, bring him to me. Bring me to him," Klein replied simply. At that moment on the Golden Dream, the Nitz was horrified to realize a problem. "His captain hasn't appeared in 3 days? I'm sorry. Edwina? Where the hell? What? Where'd she go? His captain hasn't appeared in 3 days." Chapter 690 is called Miss Messenger. Under the sunlight, the Golden Dream emitted golden lusters as if it was a mobile treasure. The Nitz stood inside the captain's cabin, pacing about endlessly. He attempted to recall everything that had happened over the past few days in a bid to find a clue. 3 days ago, his captain, Vice Admiral Iceberg Edwina, wanted to do a study in which she might not appear for 10 to 20 hours, and she's been gone for that long? What movie are we watching? We're watching 28 years later. Not today, though. Not today, but we were going to look and see where to watch it and like what time. 3 days ago, I read this part. Therefore, all corresponding classes were canceled. In regards to this, the Nitz and company didn't find it odd. These happened frequently. These were delighted and they didn't need to attend classes. Hence, they were just like they didn't want to go. They were delighted that they didn't need to attend classes. Hence, they were drinking, singing, and a bonfire party held on the ship. They were only short of burning down the Golden Dream, but they still had a great time. But with the passage of time, everyone gradually felt that something was amiss, excluding the somewhat slow Nitz. Their captain, who would still finish their studies within 24 hours, didn't appear the next day. She didn't even get anyone to send her food or light beer, which was used as water. Oh. After patiently waiting for half a day without seeing Vice Admiral Iceberg Edwina, the sailor mustered the courage to knock on her door. To her horror, there wasn't any response. Under the first mate, Brute Wall's lead, the pirates opened the cabin and found it empty. They went to the collector's room and other places, but they failed to find her. Based on the past experiences, their initial guesses was that their captain was suddenly thought of something and left the Golden Dream in a rush while using some mystical technique to emulate someone else's beyonders without leaving a letter behind. Later, the Nitz and company attempted to contact her using the methods like the Soulfall ritual, but they failed to receive a response. All they could do was search for the captain's cabin and other places as they convinced themselves to wait patiently. 3 days passed. Vice Admiral Iceberg Edwina didn't appear not to reply. It left the sailors panicking, dog-shook, and results from your divination. Didn't you claim to be an expert? The Nitz turned towards Flower, Bowtie, Jodson in frustration. Goatson, with his black hair that was dyed gold, rubbed his temples and said in a rather mellow voice, "They failed every divination method used to find her and failed, but for now it can be confirmed that Captain is still alive." This almost sounds like when the angel erases people, like at the end of volume 2. Like, all divinations fail location, but you can still tell they're alive. It's just that her whereabouts are unknown. To the first mate, Walls, who had short, grayish, curly hair, nudged his monocle. I hear monocles and I'm getting triggered now. "We need to seek help. None of the captain's collections have been lost. She didn't bring her essential mystical items with her when she left. This means that the situation is very sudden and unexpected. Whose help can we seek? Another boatswain whose waist was swollen?" Beryl Daniels asked anxiously. Brew Walls raised his silver-powdered knife to his aquiline nose and said, "Return to the western shores." Between the lines, he was hinting to seeking the Church of the Gods of Knowledge and Wisdom that backed Vice Admiral Iceberg Edwina. That won't do. To go from Pirate's Playground to the western shores, we'll need to pass the Sonia Sea, the Northern Sea, the Berserk Sea, then we'll cruise through the Foxy for a very long period of time. Captain can't wait for that long time. Anything might happen to her at any time. Flowery Bowtie Jotson said, we have to immediately find someone we can quickly contact and provide us with help on short notice. The Nits wanted to curse dogshit when he suddenly had a light bulb. He had a light bulb moment. There was only one person he could quickly contact, and that was German Sparrow. There you go, brother. There you go. We're getting reunited, dude. Furthermore, this crazy adventurer had never hid the fact that he was good at divination, also had a mysterious background. Perhaps that madman can... How is he going to contact him? Oh, he knows the ritual now. Edwina taught him the ritual. Perhaps that madman can fight Captain. He often able to do the impossible. The Nits tugged at his collar, and he felt that his worry and frustration eased a little. He raised his chest and looked around. Then he cleared his throat and said, I have a candidate. I can immediately contact him. Besides, he's very good at divination. Just as he said that, Gourmand Brewwas, Flower Bowtie Jotson, Iron Skin Barrow, and company turned their heads in unison. With their eyes red, they roared. What are you? Their eyes are they crying? With their eyes red, they roared. What are you waiting for? Then it silently left the captain's cabin and returned to his room. He unfolded a piece of paper, picked up a fountain pen, and found that his captain's teachings by writing a greeting followed by some pleasantries. Suddenly, he stopped writing. He felt that the excessive politeness and small talk didn't match his goals for seeking help. Dogshit. The Nits cursed as he tore up the piece of paper. Right on the heels of that, he wrote out a new piece of paper. Help. Captain has vanished. Although German Sparrow is a madman who can't be comprehended with common sense, he probably won't be able to understand such a letter. Dogshit. The Nits cursed him. No, he's going to be able to interpret it. The Nits cursed himself again as he ripped up the second letter. He calmed himself down and contemplated for a few seconds before penning a third time. He's getting desperate, dude. This time he wrote what happened after the cabin's disappearance. He also included the location of the Golden Dream, and he minced his words by asking Mr. German Sparrow if he could provide help to a cooperating partner. Divination needs to be something. Just as the Nits folded the letter, he suddenly realized that he had forgotten something. He rushed back to the captain's cabin and found a pearl earring that Vice Admiral Iceberg Edwina often wore. After doing all this, he took out his notebook that was filled with all sorts of mystical knowledge. He flipped to the corresponding page and unfamiliarly set up a messenger summoning ritual with his past experience. After placing a gold coin on the altar, he took 2 steps back and recited an ancient Hermes. I summon in my name. The spirit that wanders about the unfolded, the friendly creature that can be Oh shit, I'm stupid. I thought it was the other ritual Edwina taught him, but no. Klein told him like, oh, this is how you summon my messenger. The spirit that wanders about the unfounded, the friendly creature that can be subordinated, the messenger that belongs to German Sparrow. Howling wind resonated as the candlelight on the altar rapidly burgeoned before being dyed a pale whiteness. Renate appeared at a decent speed, still wearing her complicated black dress while holding 4 beautiful and identical heads. The Nits imagined that the messenger would bite the golden coin and envelope containing the paper and earring like the last time. But to his surprise, the 4 heads and Renate had automatically turned around, surveying before finally looking towards the captain's cabin. After a few seconds, 2 of the heads in Renete's hands bit down onto the gold coin and enveloped. After the strange messenger vanished, the Nits exhaled and wiped his forehead, feeling a baffling sense of pressure. Orarvi Island, in the room of another hotel. Klein was just about to get Anderson Hood, who had won quite a fair bit of money. He got a little lucky now, huh? To purchase the tickets to the City of Generosity, BAM, which had the spiritual perception, was triggered. He quickly activated his spirit vision and saw that his headless messenger, Renate, appear by his side at some point in time. In her hands were 4 beautiful heads. She's not like the skeleton messenger who I can detect the moment they appear. My spiritual perception is triggered only after she completely enters the real world. Klein received the letter from the teeth of the Renete's head while in thought. At the same time, he noticed that Anderson's spiritual perception was no way weaker than his. He too had reacted. This is a messenger. Anderson asked in disbelief, as though he had heard of such things, but he had never seen them before. You finished at 7? Okay, for sure. Oh, thank you for the heads up, Romero. Okay. Yeah, so I guess we will have a discussion since he's about to finish, right? Klein nodded without expression. He tore open the letter. A pearl earring. Klein unfolded the letter in puzzlement. By his side, Anderson came out of curiosity as he sized up Renate as he tisked. There's an indescribable sense of bloody beauty. Just as he said that, his hand suddenly rose up to grab himself by the throat. The grip was so tight that his tongue extended out and formed at the mouth. As Renate, who had nothing above her neck, she didn't show any further reaction. Klein turned his head over and seriously studied the situation before looking at the messenger. He then silently mumbled, resembles Miss Sharon's abilities. Miss Messenger belongs to the prisoner pathway. No, I can't be sure. She's a spirit world creature, so being good at such things is very normal. Realizing that Anderson was about to suffocate, Klein leisurely said, "That's enough. He still needs to lead me somewhere." One of the heads in Renette's hands turned as she glanced at Anderson with her bloodshot eyes for a second. Following that, each of their heads' mouths spoke one after another. "Still can lead you by making into zombie." As she said that, Anderson's hands finally stopped and left his own neck, leaving obvious deep finger marks on it. Phew, the strongest hunter panted as he bent his back. He's like, oh shit. Retching, Klein quickly scanned the letter and saw that it was from Danitz. This famous pirate wrote him saying that Vice Admiral Iceberg had mysteriously vanished. It was in need of help. Just as he moved his gaze away from the letter, Klein was surprised to see Renette was still around. This doesn't make any sense. Should the messenger disappear after sending the letter? Maybe she just wants to watch him? Appearing only when summoned again, Klein deliberated and asked out of curiosity, "Is there anything else?" "Awaiting your reply. Letter." Renette's forehead said one after the other. How do you know that all replied? Klein glanced at Anderson, who hadn't recovered, and confirmed that the strongest hunter didn't notice the words that didn't match Gurman's persona. The heads in Renette's had once again. Her disappearance is very odd. Oh shit, look, 4 words. So I assume each head spoke? Oh, each head says a word. Awaiting your reply letter. Your reply letter. So each head is saying a word. Her disappearance. Oh, disappearance is very odd. That's so trippy. Hey, Easy, I think we decided who the white dress lady walking in the hall in the preview is. Who is it? Saints of the White, Katerina Pele? What? I'm sorry. Is she mentioned in Volume 1? I don't remember that. Is Katerina ever... Is she brought up in Volume 1? She's been brought up in Volume 3 for sure. I think her name... She was name dropped in 2. She's been mentioned in 3, and I don't remember she was mentioned in 1. The scene immediately changed. Klein saw a vast hall with narrow windows all around the place, and a lady clad in a pure white robe. Oh my god, it was. And a lady clad in a pure white robe, chapter 199. At this moment, Klein realized that Katerina Pele looked somewhat familiar, and he suspected her of being the white robe lady who had led Madame Sharon onto the path of Demoness, chapter 588. Holy shit. That lines up. Mentioned in Volume 1. That could work. If she was mentioned in Volume 1, and they're not just going to show us, right? Like, I mean, they're not going to tell us. They're also going to show us. Okay, yeah. Holy shit. Dude, you guys are fucking good at this. I wish I can recall stuff like that off the top of my head. That is wild. I don't even think I noted that down during Volume 1. Yes, sir. We in the Ravings? No life detect. No, it's not that there's no life. It's just they have better deduction skills that I do not have, sadly. But that was a damn good observation. Renette's forehead... Wait. Her disappearance is very odd. Are we still recording? Yes, we are recording. How do you know that? Klein instantly imagined that Miss Sharon had secretly read the Nitz letter. The heads with the long blonde hair simply rolled up and said a phrase, forming a complete sentence. I investigated the ship's situation. What did you find? My messenger is a part-time scout. You'll come to it once you finish the story. You know what? When I do finish the story, I do plan to, like, maybe not fully reread it, but like skim through and like reread important parts after I finish. Because that's one cool thing about Tokyo Ghoul. When you finish if you go back, there's a specific character that's introduced towards the end of Tokyo Ghoul Part 1 that becomes a really important character in Part 2. I mean, and it's not like crazy ass world building, but it's just like the character introduction is a brief encounter. And I do like how, like, sometimes when you reread something, like, the writers purposely add stuff that like, oh shit, that's like really good on the second read through. My messenger is a part-time scout. Miss Renette, will you be a hired goon in the future? I wonder if I need to make additional payment. As Klein lampooned thought, he said, no rush, I'll reply later. He planned on heading above the gray fog to use Vice Admiral Iceberg Edwina's earring to do a divination. Renette didn't say a word as she vanished silently. Ahem. Anderson finally recovered as he stood up. He gave Gurman Sparrow a flabbergasted look. Your messenger? She's a demigod? Your messenger is a demigod. Well, yeah, if she's like if she's probably stronger than Sharon, right? And he's like kind of correlating similar abilities. I guess that makes sense. And she was huge, dude. I remember in the Spirit World, she was like a giant ass woman. Your messenger is a demigod. Nice. This is gonna be our last chapter for today. W Miss Messenger. I love her. Yeah. Renette, I think she's growing on me. But chapter 691 is gonna be a short 4-chapter read through, because I am gonna be a little bit busy. So we're gonna keep it a little short, and we should hopefully be back tomorrow and hit 700 or past 700 in the morning. Chapter 691 is called Meeting. There's no need for you to tell me. I'm more or less conflicted. Did I update? Yes, I did. I more or less confirmed it moments ago. Upon hearing Anderson Hood, Klein wore a calm expression as he mumbled inwardly. Back when he encountered Renette in the Spirit World, where he saw her massive true form of the Gothic-styled castle, Klein already believed that she wasn't someone to be messed with, and with Miss Messenger almost killing the strongest hunter with such ease. It was that easy. It made him believe, without a doubt, that she was a demigod, a sequence 4 at the very least. A demigod is willing to help me deliver letters for a gold coin per trip. It's obvious that things aren't that simple. Miss Messenger must have her motive. She probably knows something, dude. The ravings. Of course, I can't disregard how I'm always encountering all sorts of strange matters. It might have piqued her interest, and she doesn't mind being a messenger since she happens to be free. Similar situations include Rhodes, Fawning, and Snake of Mercury, Will Ossipton's friendliness. Regardless, I should be wary of not fully trust her? No. Before having a chance to discuss similar matters, I should have considered blowing the harmonica whenever I encounter danger. Who knows if Miss Messenger will just directly rip me to shreds? Klein instantly had many thoughts go through his mind while he continued wearing a stoic expression. Faced with the alarmed Anderson, all he did was slightly nod his head. It's none of your business. This guy is really mysterious. A spirit world creature at the demigod level is his messenger. Besides, he casually knows a demigod that's good at improving a person's luck. It's no wonder he's so calm and composed after offending the king of immortality. Like, for him, it's just another Tuesday, dude. It's no wonder the king of immortality didn't dare to seek revenge or even appear. Anderson suddenly came to a realization, and he couldn't help but carefully size up German Sparrow. He's putting some respect on that name, dude. Oh, Klein emotionally swept his gaze at the strongest hunter. Anderson hurriedly retracted his gaze as he chuckled dryly. I realize that you're very suitable to being the main lead of a figure painting, the kind that has a dark, gloomy background. This really accentuates your bearings. How about it? Do you want to consider it? I can help you draw a portrait. Believe me, I'm a master of this. Klein couldn't be bothered to listen to his nonsense. He lifted his golden pocket watch and opened it. Return to your room. I'll come for you in 5 minutes. All right, Anderson replied with a beaming smile. After the strongest hunter left, Klein took out his Zig's copper whistle and Will Ossipton's paper crane before entering the bathroom where he set up a ritual. After placing Vice Admiral Iceberg Edwina's pearl earrings above the gray fog, Klein sat at the end of a long bronze table. There, he conjured a pen and paper and wrote a simple divination statement, Edwina Edwards' location. Holding the paper and earring, Klein leaned back into the chair and recited the divination statement as he entered the dream with cognition. First, a gray fog world occupied his vision, following that plains and blanketed in ice and snow. Oh my god, it's the Hornicus mountain range. Ice, snow, mountaintop, Hornicus flagera. Coincidence? Plains, blanketed in ice and snow were reflected in his eyes. The howling snowstorms enveloped as the air was covered with thick fog. It didn't appear like a real frontier. Okay, maybe not. Klein quickly saw Edwina's finger. Her long brown was tied up simply at the back of the rest as it fluctuated widely into the snowstorm. Dressed in dark-colored trousers and a white waist-fitting shirt with complicated flowery patterns along the collar sleeves, she gave off the feeling as though she was frail in such an environment. Edwina's feet, which were clad in leather boots, kept moving across the snow, leaving behind a series of clear footprints, but they were quickly wiped away by the violent snowstorm. So we're here. Easy every time a mountain is mentioned. I know, dude. It has to come. It has to be full circle. The screen shattered in turns as Klein opened his eyes. He realized that he couldn't intercept Vice Admiral Iceberg's. Her name is Iceberg, and she's stuck in an icebergy looking location. What a coincidence. Vice Admiral Iceberg's actual location from his divination revelation. Basic? Isn't that the border of... No. I was thinking... No, never mind. I was thinking of Intis. The poles. Phasic's plains of Evernight. There's no way to confirm. Apart from the snowstorm, there aren't many features. Klein sat up and put down the pearl earring and the paper with the divination statement. After contemplating for a few seconds, he confirmed another matter. Edwina Edwards has really vanished. She wasn't in the golden dream, but it could also eliminate the possibility that it was a trap. Klein cautioned... A trap? Damn, he is really good. Klein cautiously performed some divination on this matter and recited the results that there weren't any traps on the Golden Dream. After some thought, he left the mysterious space above the gray fog and, via a series of procedures, brought the pearl earring back to the real world. Recalling the map of waters around Oravi Island and the present location of the Golden Dream, Klein selected an uninhabited island that fishermen used to seek shelter from storms. In the letter, he got the Nits and company to steer their ship to somewhat not far from there. After folding the letter, he blew his harmonica and was once again saw Miss Messenger holding up the foreheads. While handing over the reply letter, Klein coughed silently and said, "Can you confirm the Nits location?" One of the heads in Renette's hands nodded before the rest spoke. "Yes, as long as he's not beyond range." Seeing the Miss Messenger remain floating there without any signs of leaving. It's crazy that now his messenger's kind of just lingering and observing, dude. That's so sick. Wait, without any sense of leaving, he said with his eyes looking at the side, "Oh, the gold coin would be paid by the Nits." All right. Renette figured quickly phased away. All right, we'll just have him pay. Few, Klein exhaled. After some precise preparations and dealing with the scene, he carried his suitcase, which had finished packing, and walked out of the room. He then knocked on Anderson Hood's door. "We'll go somewhere else before heading to Bayam." He calmly told the strongest hunter of his decision. "You choose to wait for me in Bayam or follow me." Anderson gave a cheeky smile and said, "I can feel my adventurer's blood burning in me. I'm very curious as to what matter the messenger had brought. I thought I had no means of knowing better, but to my surprise, you actually invite me." "I didn't. I'm only giving you two choices." Klein even paying is like, the Nits will pay. She's like, and the fact that Renette, she's like, okay. Oh shit. "Oh, I lost my place. You have two choices?" He said, "I'm not, right?" "Oh shit, I did. I'm only giving you two choices." Klein coldly turned around and walked to the staircase. Anderson hurriedly carried his newly bought suitcase and followed behind. Out of the hotel, Klein took a carriage to leave the port city. Then he walked to the periphery of the uninhabited cliff of the Mount Saint Draco. Looking at the waves crashing into the cliffs below, Anderson looked around surprised. "This is our destination." Klein ignored his question. He took out a charm made of tin and softly chanted the incantation storm. He infused his spirituality and split the charm into two. Half of it for himself, while the other half was used to augment Anderson. The remaining one was thrown down the cliff, under the water breathing, deep sea membrane. Anderson identified the additional supernatural effects applied to him in surprise. At that moment, there was a loud splash beneath the cliff. A massive creature that resembled a whale surfaced from the sea. It was entirely dark blue in color. Its mouth was open, revealing its white teeth and blood-colored interior. They do make a good combo. They're such a good combo. I like it. I love it already. Klein walked to the edge of the cliff and jumped straight down. With the charm's powers, he gently landed in the undersea behemoth's mouth. Anderson watched blankly before he jumped down in excitement, landing beside him. Oh, this is his his underwater carriage. Didn't I tell you he'd be like Aquaman? I remember saying at one point, like, wouldn't it be funny if it's kind of like Aquaman? Somebody was like, with the sea god scepter, people like, Aquaman, that's kind of whack. This is sick, dude. Klein walked to the edge of the cliff and jumped straight down. With the charm's powers, he gently landed in the undersea behemoth's mouth. Anderson watched blankly before he jumped down in excitement, landing beside Klein. The massive undersea creature closed its mouth, turning the interior pitch black. Then this is like some Pinocchio stuff right here. SpongeBob type of taxi. No, this reminds me of Pinocchio, dude. Is there fan art on this? Then it submerged itself and began swimming for its designated destination. Inside its mouth, Klein's eyes produced a flash of lightning as he saw through the darkness. He found a tooth to lean against as he casually sat down. Due to the protection from a deep sea membrane, he wasn't afraid that his clothes would be dirtied. "Man, this is quite fascinating." Anderson surveyed the area and asked curiously, "How did you come up with this? How are you doing this?" "Of course, it's by praying to myself and using the sea god scepter." Of course. To pull a suitable undersea creature from nearby. Klein didn't reply Anderson's question. He half closed his eyes as though he was resting. "It's just a little stuffy." Anderson took out a cigar and matchstick from his pocket. "Can I smoke in here?" "Ask it." Klein didn't open his eyes. Anderson chuckled dryly before putting away the cigar and matchstick. "I don't think it will like the smell of tobacco." True. In the dark sea, this massive creature swam quickly, effectively drawing out the oxygen in the water via the use of its special organs from time to time. After an unknown period of time, it surfaced from an uninhabited island. After using the charms to go ashore, Klein took off his hat and bowed at the undersea creature. "Fish gonna get canned?" "Yeah, no, definitely not. That good thing he put it away, right?" You're very wait. At the undersea creature. I thought I skipped a page, but I didn't. You're very polite. Anderson said in amusement when he saw the scene. I've always been very polite, even if I'm facing prey. Klein, shit, he has Riz and aura, so it looks kind of scary. Mr. Fish, new turret member, that'd be funny. Or he's like the Tarot Club taxi driver. Klein shot a glance at him as though he was including him. Anderson chuckled dryly as he pointed to the other side of the island. There's a ship there. Oh, it's the Golden Dream. At that moment in time, he got there so fucking quick. At that moment in time, Klein had also seen the sailboat that had been scrubbed clean. On the ship, spanning dozens of meters, a lustrous main cannon that didn't belong to there was swimming with stacked symbols. He immediately went out. He immediately went over to the suitcase, and before long, he arrived where the Golden Dream was anchored. Then he saw the Nits jump down from the deck, and he ran across the water. Just as the Nits arrived before German Sparrow, deliberating on what to say, he suddenly saw a familiar figure. Anderson Hood. He pointed at the strongest hunters. He yelled. Anderson immediately roared with laughter. You didn't expect me, right? Although he didn't know why he would encounter the Golden Dream. You didn't... Why would Anderson say that? Did he know that? Are you going to head out? No, it's okay, username. I'll have the video up right away. I mean, we're only like a page before we're done. Yeah, so it was a little bit short today. I do apologize for that. You didn't expect me, right? Although he didn't know why he would encounter the Golden Dream, this didn't stop him from having an idea of occupying the ship by force. You know each other. Klein indefinitely swept his gaze towards the Nits. The Nits instinctively shredded as he forced a smile. This guy isn't a good egg. In the Foxy, he's often pursued by a bunch of pirates, but in the end, all those pirates would end up as bounty rewards. Damn. Oh, it's 5 a.m.? No, it's... Yeah, I apologize, username. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we went live several times today. And we turned a 2-minute trailer into like an hour and a half. You might not be aware, but he started off in the Church of God of Knowledge and Wisdom. Later, he was banished after failing his exams repeatedly. I heard all this from Captain. They were former classmates. They were former classmates? He gave Anderson a look of contempt, mocking his low intelligence. As for flowery bow-tie Jotson and company on the ship, all of them showed similar expressions. And Anderson's gaze slowly swept across his face before tisking. That's not the main point. The main point is that I once pulled at your... The main point is that I once pulled at your captain's hair? The scene instantly turned extremely silent as the Nits couldn't stop his expression from twisting. I'm sorry. I'm interpreting that two ways. Let me do overall thoughts. Let me do this timestamp. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is going to be the final chapter. We're going to do overall thoughts and we'll be back early in the morning. But what does he mean by he pulled her hair before? Like in a bounty hunter pirate way? Or like in an intimate way, you know? Anderson is still goated either way. You know, whichever way it was, he's still a badass. I don't know how to interpret that line. Devious? Yeah, I don't know if he meant it in a devious way or like, you know, in him trying to claim a bounty. It's a joke saying he did her, but in reality, he just pulled her hair as a kid. Oh, shit, man. Because he said that to provoke the whole crew. What fucking works, man? He's definitely a fucking provoker. Once a provoker, always a provoker. Holy shit, dude. I also gotta go. Oh, no, you still gotta catch up with the Shadow Slave. The new chapters are going crazy. Oh, dude, Sonny, man, I wish I can read it. Oh, he is a provoker? Yeah, I'm telling you, once a provoker, always a provoker. All right, man, we're gonna end it there. Short and sweet. 1 hour stream, 1 hour and 20 minutes. We read for like 55 minutes. Just quickly wrapping up. Gonna be with the missus for a little bit tonight. I'm gonna be a little busy in the morning, and then I should hopefully be live during the day before I end stream, before I have a movie night with the missus. And then I won't be streaming Saturday because I'm gonna be gone all day. And then I should be free Sunday, and we can stream Sunday. Double modding ending. I know. I'm sorry, Romero. You go get some rest, man. You deserve it. I'm sorry you got a double mod. I do apologize for that. So I'm telling you, you have to help me nominate the next mod to help out. That way it's not such a big toll on you, OG, and when Alma comes through. So you gotta let me know. Because I know we don't usually get the 3 mods all at the same time. It's fine. All right. Whenever it's too much, you let me know, man. Yeah, because I do apologize for that. Or if there's any volunteers, you guys let me know, and then we'll talk about that. DSV normally here? Yeah, it's true. He is normally here. So whenever it gets too much, I'll also double check with him. He isn't stream. He isn't because stream was announced. It was. Not only that, both streams today were unannounced. Actually, no. The first stream in the morning was not unannounced. I just changed the title because I didn't know there was gonna be an anime today. I literally didn't think the final trailer wasn't dropping until like the usual time. Oh wait, hold up before I leave. Do you guys think it's a good idea if I change my read-through thumbnails to the new artwork we got today? I don't know. It had like the moon. It had all the characters dancing. I don't know. I don't know if that'd be a good thumbnail. But I don't know if that would necessarily match where we're currently at the till end of Volume 3 and then like early start of Volume 4. But I don't know. Or if you guys have any ideas for a good thumbnail for Volume 3, yeah, try and change it up. Okay. So we'll try and change it up. But if you guys have any ideas for a good thumbnail for at least the ending of Volume 3, let me know. I guess maybe after we do the read-through, and if there's any good artwork that we can set for Volume 4 without giving away too much context or spoilers, we can also do that. If not, I'll probably try using a new thumbnail today. At least from the artwork we got today. So if that's good, you guys let me know. And if it's bad, let me also know. But I'm going to let you guys go. Moi, we should be back tomorrow. We'll send art for you. Okay, for sure. All right, later, guys. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you live. And we shall be back soon. German on his work. That's true, man. German literally, he oral farms. But I'm going to let you guys go, okay? Have a beautiful night, guys. Take care.